Thanks very much for your time. I am Pius Kujobaka, and looking at our stories. Minority spokesperson on economy and development, Oppong Nkrumah, has slammed government for not taking proactive steps to stop the imposition of the 15% tariff on Ghanaian exports to the U.S. by the American government. U.S. President Donald Trump imposed a new tariff on a host of countries, including Ghana, under a sweeping executive order issued by Thursday aimed at addressing what he described as persistent trade imbalances threatening U.S. national security. But speaking to Joy News, Oppong Nkrumah said the tariffs would not make Ghanaian exports competitive in the U.S. and Ghana risks losing not only money but jobs.
So the local exporter to the U.S. market is competing with other countries who are exporting similar products to that market. If we have a 15% tariff slapped on our export, and that same tariff is not slapped on competing products, our product on the U.S. market becomes less competitive. After a while, the importers in the U.S. who source from Ghana will now shift to those other markets. And then the trade volumes, the export volumes from that will dwindle. When it starts dwindling, the productivity within the economy that generates that trade volume will also begin to dwindle. So you see growth for those specific products dwindling. You will also then begin to realize that the jobs that lead to that productivity will also now begin to dwindle. So it has a value chain effect, and it is important for government to quickly pivot and look at where else can I find markets that are not less competitive, so that the export earnings, the export volumes, the growth, and the jobs that come out of those exports will not suffer inordinately.
What's going to be the impact of this on exporters and even the country's export earnings? Joining us now is an exporter, mainly to the U.S., Nicholas Akokare. He joins us via Zoom. He's also the Chief Executive of Trade Aid Africa. Thank you so much, Nicholas, for making time to join us here on Business Live. First off, what would be your initial comments on the latest 15% tariffs imposed on exports by the U.S. government?
Yeah, thank you for getting me to comment on this issue. And good day to your listeners. I think that it will have a devastating effect on the Ghanaian exporters, particularly for small-scale producers and people who are into the craft sector. I mean, the Honorable Oppong Nkrumah was right when he said that it is going to lead to a reduction in our export volumes, and our products will become very uncompetitive in the international market, particularly in the U.S. market. I think that over the years, the U.S. government had worked with many African countries to try to promote export into their market through the AGWA initiative and other initiatives. And there were a lot of gains that were made in that direction in terms of job creation, in terms of even increase our foreign exchange earning capacity, among others. So this recent increase in tariff, I know initially we were looking at 10% to the 15%. I can bet you will be very devastating for many of our small-scale exporters. And you know that recently the Ghanaian city also appreciated that was already a problem for exporters because we're earning, in serious terms, less for the same quantity of goods that we're exporting before. So that already had some significant effect on export, and coming together with that, I would say there's a double source situation, and there's an urgent need for government to intervene to address the challenges. Thank you.
And you calling on government to intervene, what exactly are you looking at?
Yeah, so I'm looking at a situation where government can set up an initial buffer fund that will cushion exporters who are battling with the challenges. We need to have, I know we used to have Exim Bank. I'm not sure of the new name now, but Exim Bank can immediately work with exporters to see what are the challenges that they are facing and what kind of funds can be made available to cushion them. We also need to look at alternative markets and how do we look at the EU. The EU remains a very big market, so we can look at that market. We need to also look at the Asian market. The China market is there, as well as even within the AFTA arrangements, what other market opportunities can we identify within the African continent that we can help to improve our export earnings. So all these things are things that we have to work on quickly, and government must lead the charge in doing this so that we can all follow and do our bit.
And Nicholas, as we await government to speak on the matter, for exporters who mainly export to US market, what move are they going to take now? What is going to be their fate?
Very difficult, because for me, for example, in the past, should I say last 6 months, I've had export for craft products, mainly burger baskets, that we are not able to produce, because what we used to earn in CD terms is not even enough to pay the weavers to produce a basket. So we used to sell a basket for let's say $15. And then now $15 is just about 150 cedis, and then you are paying the weaver about 140 cedis, not to talk of other expenses. So that amount is not enough to be able. So we risk losing our clients. So some of us have started to discuss with the banks at our own individual level to see how they can step in and support, so that at least we can maintain our clients and then and grow the business.
And Nicholas, I'm pretty sure as exporters, you have a platform. What has been the talk on that platform? What's the mood on the platform as we speak?
I mean, right in Upper East, I think last week we had a forum involving all the exporters of burger baskets, and we issued a communique. We want to further engage government on how to address it. I think that one other challenge that we have had been the system at the port, where you have to export declaration and export reconciliation. They call it the LOC. That arrangement has been very problematic, and it has not worked very well for. In fact, in a way, it's counterproductive to our efforts to promote the export business. So those are some of the things in Bulgaria here. We have challenges with the straw and all that. So these are issues that, I mean, as a group, we have been discussing among ourselves and looking at what opportunities is there for us to engage government, that we can all address them to a satisfactory ends.
All right. Thank you so much, Nicholas. We shall come to you subsequently for more interaction on this subject matter. Is this a developing story? And as and when we get more, we shall come to you subsequently. Thank you so much, Nicholas. Let's shift focus to some other stories. Now, the Chief Executive of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, Dr. Oppong, has indicated that petroleum product prices are expected to remain stable through to November. He noted that barring any major geopolitical disruptions in the international market, there is a little likelihood of price increases in the coming months. This projection suggests a period of relative pricing consistency for consumers, offering some relief amid global economic uncertainties.
During the budget review of the mid-year, the Chamber predicted that we foresaw a plateau in price for quite a long time. So we can predict that for several windows to come. Looking at the strength of the city and how the global price also being stable, we foresee that the pump price, all things being equal, no tax added, will also experience sale. So I also mentioned yesterday in my interview that most oil marketing companies are going to keep their prices because 0.05% is very insignificant. If you apply 0.44 as you see on a 12.5 liter per cedis per liter, that's 12.555. I mean, that's very insignificant for any oil marketing company to look at it. However, it's an open market, it's a regulated market. Anybody who wants to, anyone that wants to change price is allowed to do that. Today, as we speak, the platform for PMS has increased by $9, and that's the reason why you see petrol going up. I heard you say that you thought that they all go together. Platform PMS, platform AGU are totally different. The landing prices are therefore different. So you will see that therefore at the pump that the price for diesel and petrol are not the same, and the price jumps up and down independently. That being said, yes, we are very sure that until we enter into November, where winter starts, if there is no geopolitical issue, we believe that the pump price will be stable for quite a long time.
You're still watching Business Live. We have more stories for you after this break. Welcome back to Business Live. Minister for Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation, Sam George, has disclosed that investigations into recent complaints about the speed at which mobile phone data get finished have shown that device settings are largely to blame, not price manipulation by telecom companies. Now, speaking at the Government Accountability Series, Mr. George stated that an operational task force had been established at the National Communications Authority in collaboration with mobile network operators to continue to investigate public concerns raised on social media.
I would also segue here into the issue of that has become topical of data and data running faster and disappearing. Let me be clear. My fidelity and that of the ministry and the government of President Mahama is to the Ghanaian people. Our interest is the best interest of the Ghanaian people. However, these are technical issues that we would only be able to act on the basis of evidence and not sentiments. I have seen a number of complaints on social media, and I've set up a specialized task force at the NCA and at all the mobile network operators to deal with these complaints. Let me state on the record, every single one of the complaints that have been referred to the team have been investigated, and all of them have proven that it is user settings and user behaviors that have affected the use of their data, and that there has been no price tampering. Let me reiterate, I will not hesitate to deal decisively as minister with any telecom company that falters or alters the pricing that is approved by the NCA. But unless there is evidence of same, you cannot punish somebody just because people are making a claim that is not backed by the evidence. And I can show to the media today evidence, maybe in the Q&A, of some of these instances. In fact, the last one that was dealt with, that I got a report on this morning, the individual complained. I asked the NCA to reach out to him. For 48 hours, he did not respond, so I had to go back on X and retweet at him and say that we've been trying to reach out to you. When we did the investigation, it turned out that he actually handed his own device over to somebody, and when they did the record, they realized that the person used it to watch and stream videos, and that's how come the data he was expecting to keep. And I have evidence of this. I mean, and some of them, we've actually urged some of them to come out and do public sensitization. I'm sure you all saw the one by Mr. DKB when he complained about his data, and subsequently he realized that it was from his own user behavior. But like I said, we will continue to deal with every single one that comes our way.
The Association of Ghana Industries has indicated that they will move quickly to reduce prices further if commercial banks go ahead to reduce interest rates. Chief Executive of the Association, John Ewa, has announced some good reduction in interest rates from this Wednesday, and this is in response to the 3% cut in the policy rate by the Bank of Ghana. Seth Chumakwabwa is the Chief Executive of the Association of Ghana Industries.
So that's our expectation, that first of all, once the policy rate has dropped, we should see a corresponding drop or significant drop in the lending rate as well. So if you're going to have that improvement, that reduction in the lending rates, and definitely it's going to impact positively on businesses. You know, cost of capital adds to the cost of your doing business. And therefore, if some cost elements of your cost structure is going down, your price must come down. So, for sure.
Is that an assurance from industry?
It is an assurance, but
some will say that we'll see the same city argument being played here. We need more time.
Oh, but the city argument,
we need about 30 days and all the rest. What will be different this time around? Because this was not even just one commercial. This was the CEO of the Association of Banks who was making this claim that from the 3rd of August, that is Wednesday, we are going to see some good reduction. And I'm using his words carefully. If that good reduction happens immediately, and cost of credit goes down, we'll see industries responded.
But George, I think to be fair to industry, when we said we are going to see reduction in prices as a result of the gain the city has made, and then we said, oh, it's not going to happen immediately, but give us some time, Indeed, over the past 4 months or so, we've all seen the improvement that has happened. And inflation is dropping. When you go to the market, prices of goods have come down, except those that are not really exposed to the exchange rate situation, and therefore it doesn't have much effect on their pricing, and they have probably maintained it. In the same way, if we see significant drop in lending rates, because it's a part of the cost structure of a business, when your cost is coming down, you must also enjoy and transfer part of the gain to your consumers in the form of lowering prices. Because if you don't do that, others will do it and compete you out of the market. It's not a question of, I don't want to do it because I need more time. It's a very competitive market. So if you were borrowing at 25, 30%, and today you get it down to say 20 or less, it means that your cost of production is going down.
And to some other stories, a women-led agro-processing center in Bolgatanga, operated under the Northern Savannah Women Enterprise and managed by the Northern Patriots in Research and Advocacy, has announced plans to scale up its operations through collaboration with government's 24-hour economy initiative. The move is expected to create stable employment for hundreds of women while boosting economic activity in the region. Correspondent Albert Sori reports.
Currently employing over 600 women across 15 communities in the Upper East region, the Northern Savannah Women Enterprise processes a variety of locally sourced products such as groundnut into paste, soya into oil and milk, among others. The facility was set up last year by the Northern Patriots in Research and Advocacy, NOPRA, with funding support from the USAID Feed the Future Ghana Trade and Investment Activity. The project started in Bolgatanga with skills training facilitated by the Food Research Institute of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. With a projected monthly profit exceeding 9 million Ghana cedis, the facility is equipped with modern agro-processing machinery that adheres to both local and international standards. This has positioned it to meet the demands of major government programs such as the school feeding program, feeding of senior high schools and public health institutions, thereby bolstering food security in the region. Bismarck Ayorgo is the executive director of NOPRA.
The project has milestones, training how to produce, operate the machines, and how to also brand, package, and label the product. Another milestone will come, and which will be Ghana Standard Authority and Food and Drugs Authority to give us that white paper and say we have passed. We can take it to Europe. It is wholesome. Anybody at all can consume it.
However, almost 1 year on, this facility struggles to stay afloat due to lack of support. During a recent courtesy visit to the office of the Bolgatanga Municipal Chief Executive, Mr. Ayorgo highlighted the importance of certification from the Food and Drugs Authority and the Ghana Standards Authority.
Some of the support the Assembly can help them is certification of their products. Yes, so they have the equipment, they do everything. You go there and they are able to produce the quality. But it will not be accepted as high quality product unless it gets Ghana Standard Authorities and Food and Drugs Authority certification. So the Assembly can come in to support them. The second support is the facility expansion. They have a limited space for the installation of their machines and operations.
Speaking on behalf of the Northern Savannah Women Enterprise, Barkisu Akurugu stated that with government support, they could significantly increase production to meet national food supply needs while creating jobs for many people.
We are over 600 women working, yes, and because of the high unemployment rate, these women that have nothing doing or less work to do join, and when we process and sell, when the profits comes, it shares among the women in the group. Yeah, so this is going to help us a lot, and it's helping a lot already. And currently, we have gone on a break on production because of Food and Drugs Board certification that we have not gotten yet, because we don't want to have a program with the Food and Gas Authority. And we are also appealing to the Assembly to help us.
In his response, the Bolgatanga Municipal Chief Executive, Roland Ayo, assured NOPRA and the Northern Savannah Women Enterprise of the Municipal Assembly's full support and promised that their proposal would be incorporated into the region's medium-term development plan.
I am ever prepared to work closely with you so that at the end of the day, the people of the municipality will be the end beneficiaries. We will soon be holding our medium to long-term development programs, and we will readily invite you to come and make your input, which will end up being part of our plan.
If implemented, this partnership could drive job creation, empower rural women, and strengthen the local food system in the Upper East region by positioning Bolgatanga as a future hub for agro-processing. For Joy News, Albert Sorry, Bolgatanga.
Thanks so much for your company. I am Pius Kojo Baka. Beyond the Numbers is next.